Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review of the tier 10 French heavy tank, the AMX 50B. So as I normally do, just give a bit of my personal opinion about the tank. Honestly, I say this quite a lot, but I do really like it. I do also have the T57 heavy, so please comment down below if you would like to see a review on that. Yeah, the AMX 50B and the 57 heavy are quite are compared together quite a lot, to be honest. Obviously the main reason for that is the gun. They both have 4-shot autoloaders with the capability, to do 1,600 damage. Obviously the shells roll average per clip. The difference with the 50B and the 57 heavy, the 50B, its reload's a bit longer. My reload at the moment is about 27 seconds, honestly, which isn't too bad. On the 57 heavy it's about 22. The shots between the delay between each shot on the 50B is 2.5 seconds, and the delay between the shots on the 57 heavy is 2.22 seconds. So obviously it does let off them shots quite a bit faster. But the one thing that this tank has that the 57 heavy doesn't is speed. This thing is super fast. Yeah, so we'll just take a quick look into the stats of the tank. So as we can see, hit points 2,100. Honestly, that's not that much. You cannot really afford to take a hit in this, especially the armor is not very good. So if you do get hit in this tank, you are going to feel it. Max speed 65 kilometers an hour, which is fantastic. You will reach that speed. Engine power 1,200 horsepower, which is again a crazy amount of horsepower, and it will allow you to get to that max speed of 65 kilometers an hour. So take a better look into the engine. As you can see, the power to weight ratio is 19.31, which is really good actually for a heavy tank, and it does allow you to get to that top speed. Top reverse speed 20 kilometers an hour, also very nice if you need to pop out and pop back, using pop in and out tactics and stuff like that just to get them shots off. Fire chance 15%. I've never really been set on fire in this, but it was always helpful just to carry a fire extinguisher with you anyway. So the gun, the 120mm SA46, you may remember this gun from the AMX 50 120, which you would have had to have played to get to the 50B. So as you can see, the stock reload time's 30 seconds. Even for a gun that does 1,600 damage per clip, that is not that long of a reload, to be honest. Aiming time 3 seconds, yeah, it's lousy. Put a gun lane drive on it and it will help that out a little bit. Accuracy 0.35, actually not too bad. It is quite accurate. You can kind of use this tank as a long range sniper if you need to. Elevation 12 degrees, that is not really good, to be honest. If there is tanks above you, you will struggle to shoot. Max depression, we've got 8 degrees. It's actually quite nice, really. If you remember the 5120 and stuff like that, the depression and the elevation was just absolutely shocking. This tank is quite tall, so the elevation doesn't feel too bad, but the depression is very nice. It does allow you to poke ridge lines and stuff like that, and as you can see, 4 shots per clip. Next, the tracks, 36 degrees rotation speed. It is actually really good, to be honest, for a heavy tank compared to things like the Mouse and the E100. But as you can see, their terrain resistances, they aren't that good. But you still will be able to reach your top speed and stuff like that. Obviously, it is held back a little bit though by them terrain resistances. So the turret, 400 meters view range, which isn't too shabby, to be honest, and a 36 degree rotation speed is actually quite snappish. It will allow you to get behind slower heavy tanks and stuff like that, and then you can just dump your clip into them. Obviously do be aware, if you do get shot in any of that the highlighted area there, it will damage a turret, so just be very aware of that. Signal range 750 meters, pretty much standard for the tier. That's where the radio is. AMX, so you've got 2 in the back of the turret and 2 in the centre of the hull. This tank, when it does get ammo racked, like the 57 heavy, like most tanks, when they do get ammo racked, the reload on this will be about a minute or so. So obviously you do not ever want to be ammo racked. So it might be helpful to take a large repair kit maybe, or 2 small ones. So as you can see, unlike the 57 heavy, this one carries APCR as its premium ammunition. The 57 heavy carries heat. We'll get into like the penetration and stuff like that in a bit, and this is where your crew sits. You've only got 4 crew members in this. Also, I have found out that the radio operator actually aids as like a loader as well. So when your radio operator does get taken out, it does affect your reload time. So that's just something to be wary of. Next, the armour. So as you can see here, there's not really much to talk about. Actually, there is something quite surprising about this tank. So 1 to 20 millimeters on the top of the tank. Obviously, if you get hit by artillery in this thing, you're gonna die. 21 to 30 millimeters on the side of the tank, and also the back. It's just gonna get overmatched. Don't bother trying to side scrape in this tank at all. Next, 31 to 50 millimeters on the sides of the turret, and these kind of shoulder pads here, they're an easy penetration, to be honest. So next, 71 to 90 millimeters on the underside of the turret. The gun mount, it can be quite bouncy in this tank. It is quite troll, and just the sides of the hull there, and the bottom part of the lower glacis. Sorry. Next, 91 to 120 millimeters. This is on the upper part of the hull and the front of the turret. The turret is this tank's biggest weak spot. People see the turret is huge and people just shoot. You won't really bounce a shot off there unless they hit you at a crazy angle. Next, 161 to 190 millimeters is where it starts to look a little bit more interesting. As you can see, it's not too thick, but it is very, very well sloped. And next, honestly, this plate, it is 191 to 230 millimeters. It is 230 millimeters thick. I've bounced T124s, Jagdpanzer 100s off this lower plate. People think, oh, French tank, we'll just shoot it anywhere. They hit the lower plate and it does just bounce. It is very well angled, but that does allow you to actually ram your opponents quite effectively, to be honest. Ramming in this tank is always a really good shout, especially if you can just unload your clip and then just ram them straight afterwards. Obviously don't go ramming E100 and stuff like that, but definitely some of the medium tanks, be careful with like the U50M, but especially like Leopards and the Russian mediums and stuff like that, you can definitely give them a good ram. So, equipment I use on this tank: enhanced gun lane drive, just to get that aiming time down. I do use a large spool liner just because it does help with ramming. I do like to ram in this tank, and it does also help with your crew and stuff like that. It does also help with like high explosive rounds and stuff like that. Next, I use improved vents just to get that reload down, and just boost the overall tank's the capabilities really of the tank. So supplies, I carry 44 armor piercing rounds, 8, so 2 clips worth of APCR and 1 clip of high explosive. I also take a manual fire extinguisher, a small first aid kit and a small repair kit. So we'll just take a quick look into the ammunition and stuff like that quickly. So as you can see, standard rounds 257 penetration with 400 damage, which is actually quite nice. 257 penetration is a nice amount. It's only 1 penetration less than the E5, so you might struggle with some super heavy tanks, but you can always just load some skill rounds which have 325 penetration. And that will allow you to pretty much go through any tank in the game really. Also 400 damage, then you have your high explosive rounds, 65 penetration, 515 damage. Obviously, if you come against a Waffenträger, a Grille, stuff like that, you'll just obliterate them. So that's why I take 1 clip of it. Cool, we'll just take a quick look into my crew and stuff like that. So as you can see, I'm training Eagle Eye. I have 6th Sense, which I think is a necessity on tanks like this which have no armour really. Repairs, just because it is a heavy tank, just to get the tracks up and stuff like that faster. Clutch braking, just to help with that, with the kind of bad terrain resistances on this tank, so it does help you turn quite fast. Camouflage, honestly, not a clue. It's just one of them perks. I was like, why not? Track mechanic, obviously it is a heavy tank. You don't want to be tracked for long. Brothers in Arms, that also helps with like the reload and stuff like that, and the overall just honestly it just improves everything about the tank really. Safe stowage, just because of the ammo rack. When you do get ammo racks in this thing, it is a pain in the arse. Smooth ride, improves the accuracy when firing on the move. You will know with auto loaders it is crucial to get that first shot to penetrate and get in, as obviously you need to do that full clip potential. So that's enough for the crew. So yeah, we'll talk about the grind quickly as well. The grind really isn't too shabby, to be honest with you. So we'll start at tier 5. You get the BDR G1B. Honestly, it's not too bad at all. stock, it's horrible, and but it's really just made up by that gun, really. That's all we need to say about it. ARL 44 is one of the most underrated tier 6 heavy tanks. Obviously that frontal plate is very nice and bouncy. The turret is a big weak spot on this one though. The AMX M445 is one of the tanks that everyone just slags the shit out of, to be honest. Honestly, I don't really know why. I did quite like it when I had it, but you can see why people don't really like it. The 5100 was definitely one of the nicest surprises of the grind. It is actually a very, very nice tank. Once you get the 100mm SA-47, it is fantastic. Then the 5120, also regarded as one of the worst tanks in the grind, to be honest. You can kind of see why. It is huge, it has no armour, it's quite sluggish. It's not sluggish, it can do 65, but the engine power and the terrain resistances do not help it out. As you can see, the armour profile does look a little bit better, but the armour is still not very good at all. And then you get to this thing. But anyway guys, I think that is enough for the garage review. Let's come back when we have some gameplay for you. Hello guys, and we are back for our first game of the replay. This one will be a live commentary. So as you can see, obviously it's a tier 10 game. The map is Himmelsdorf, it is night and it is an encounter battle. So obviously this tank, as I explained before, does have very, very nice mobility. So it will allow us to get up to that hill before most of the tanks will. You can see we're already up at 40 kilometers an hour, overtaking some of the other heavy tanks and stuff like that. As you can see, we are climbing in speed, and this tank does reach its top speed fairly easily, especially when you're going downhill and stuff like that. It's obviously the best place to ram. So now we're up to 55 kilometers an hour on the flat. This will just demonstrate how it is at climbing hills. Obviously the power to weight ratio is quite nice, but the terrain resistors do mess it up a little bit. So as you can see as well, this tank does have a very, very large silhouette. It is so tall, and it's obviously just because of that turret. As you said before, that there's no arm on this thing really. To be honest, that frontal plate can be very strong, and it is very strong actually. But obviously, if they hit you dead on and stuff like that, they're still going to penetrate. So that's obviously something to look out for. So now we're off on the hill. We've got an AMX 30 up here and a Batchat. So as you can see now, this E50M is just going to go up to this Batchat, and we're just going to unload our clip into the poor Batchat, who isn't going to live to see the end of it, to be honest. So we take him out. Now we are reloading. 23 seconds left. Honestly, we need our other tanks up here really, otherwise we're not going to survive very long at all. So yeah, as I said before, this tank is great. In the right circumstances it can be, but in some other circumstances it can be not very good to play at all really. But obviously it just depends on your kind of playstyle and stuff like that. So we're just going to push around behind, hopefully get some flanking shots. I know there's a Batchat around here on very, very low health. He's there. As you can see now, honestly, we're in a bit of a pickle. There's no tanks up here to support me at all. We're just going to try and unload our clip before we die into this unsuspecting AMX 30. Gets taken out already, so we're just going to unload into the 62A. 1, 2. As you can see guys, this tank does just rack up the damage. Already we're at 8 penetrations. We have got a so I mean, no, we are in a bit of a pickle already. We have lost quite a bit of our health quite early in the game, so only got 650 hit points. This is where I was explaining before that it doesn't really take a beating at all, this tank. So we're just going to camp behind these tanks here, track the AMX 30, one in, put one more in, the 140 now, one round into him as well. So yeah, this is kind of what this tank's all about really. We are going to probably die here. Yeah, as you can see, we got taken out. Honestly, that is one of the worst games. That just shows that you shouldn't really go out into the open without backup and stuff like that. but it kind of demonstrates what this tank, to be honest, with this tank you kind of really need to be playing in a platoon as well, of like most auto loads and stuff like that, just because they are quite hard to play successfully by yourself. But it is a great tank, and it's definitely one of the tanks I would recommend grinding for if you like auto loaders and you like fast tanks with not much armour, but with absolutely devastating guns. Okay guys, we are back for our second game of the replay. As you can see, the map is Ravaged Capital. This game is a lot better than the first game we played, to be honest. This is one of the better games I've had in the AMX 50B. This tank does perform very well on like city maps and stuff like that. So, as you can see, my ability's just been able to like power through. The reload's not too long, I've only got 20 seconds left. Like, this tank does allow it to get to really useful positions on the battlefield very early on. Obviously, the thing is with auto loaders, make sure you go there when you have help and stuff like that, because when you do get caught alone in one of these things, it is not good. So, as you can see, yeah, I finally reloaded. We're just heading up into this middle point. This middle point of the map is crucial, I think, and I always do like to go up here. So, we spot the Fatherland and a Leopard 1. We are reloaded now, as I said before. So we aim for the Fatherland, put one in, aim again. Second shot hits the ground. 2 shots left, one into the Leopard 1. And another one into the Leopard 1. We do take a shot from the Fatherland there. As you can see, my radio man is down. You'll see the reload, as soon as we get him back, it went from 27 seconds to 22, so you can see he is and does count as a loader. So it's always nice just to have him. Alright, so I noticed the STB1 behind us. Don't really want to take a shot. As you can see, that ricocheted off our lower plate. As I was describing before, it's very strong. So at this point in time, I'm kind of thinking I've got myself in a bit of a pickle at the moment. I eat one in the side from the Leopard 1, but we're just going to go down here now, and we're just going to unload the rest of our clip into him. There's not much he's going to be able to do, really. So, as you can see, 1 in. 2 in, he overmatched our side armour, ammo rack gets damaged, but we just unload into him. Here we go, 1 shot left, repair the ammo rack. We see the Fatherland, he misses, and we managed to put one straight through his side armour. So now we're just on a reload again. The only thing with auto loaders, same as artillery, is you do spend quite a lot of time reloading, and it can be quite frustrating, especially if you get caught out by other enemy tanks and stuff like that when you are reloading. So, as you can see, we're already up to 7 damaging ribbons and 1 kill. So, yeah, really, this is the kind of situation this tank does excel in, when you have cover around you, and you can literally just put this gun to work. So we try and get a shot into the Fatherland there. Unfortunately, we just weren't going to penetrate this turret like that. So I just decided to push right up. Fatherland misses us again. As you can see, we have lost quite a bit of our health, and then again demonstrating how quickly you can lose health and stuff like that, and this tank doesn't have many hit points. So we put 1 into the Fatherland's tracks and he gets taken out. So next, D4, we're going to try and put one into his tracks. Unfortunately, we don't let the shot aim, and it goes straight into the ground. 1 into him, 2 into him. This E4 driver is a bit silly. As you can see there, ricochet off our lower plate from the E4 with 295 penetration. Review of that coming out soon. So we then got shot and tracked by the STB1. As I said before, we'll just keep an eye on that E4 driver. He does make a lot of very silly mistakes in this game, but it does allow us to get quite a lot of damage off, so it doesn't really matter. As you can see, just like that, reloaded again, 27 seconds. So you can see the M103 here. We're looking for a shot into the side of his turret. 1 in, 409. Second one in, taken out. Then we see the STB1, who just get a bit of payback on him, shall we? 1 in and 2 in. As you can see, just how devastating this gun is. So, reloading once again. As you can see now, we're up to 14 penetrations and 3 kills. Having that many penetrations in a tank like this is just great. Honestly, there's not much people can do like that. That is a crazy amount of damage, sorry. as I said before, we did see that E4 driver just driving off out of nowhere, but we are going to keep an eye on him. So, as you can see now, we're going to start going downhill. You'll see the mobility of this thing. Up to, and then we stop, see the E4 again, plant 1 into his back, 2 into his back, 3 into the back, and the 4th one goes low. We shoot underneath him. So we did not manage to get the kill on that E4 then, and we are once again reloading. So now this is a very bad situation. You see, we've got the T110E4, and we also have a very skilled M103 driver up here, and there is only 2 of us left. So you can kind of guess how this is going to end. 4 seconds left for the reload. The E4, as I said before, I don't think he really had a clue what he was doing. He just drove off. So now we're just going to push up. At this point, the M103 comes up, and I'm thinking, do you know what? I can take this guy out. So we push right up, put 1 into his lower plate. We're on very low health. Put another 1 in. We shoot under his tank. 1 more in into the top of the turret. Just 1 more. Aim for the shot. Oh, and we get taken out. Absolute heartbreak there from that replay. 19 penetrations and 3 kills. Absolute heartbreak. So now, as you can see there, if you can catch tanks off guard with this gun, it is just absolutely devastating. Unfortunately, we did lose that game. But as you can see, we did manage to make 70,000 silver, 7,146 damage, and we blocked 1,240. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Please like, comment and subscribe. Make sure to comment down below which tank you would like to see next. Thanks for watching so much guys, and peace out.